AviationPros.com is the portal website for AMT, Airport Business, and Ground Support Worldwide magazines. Visit daily for breaking news, industry blogs, and insightful articles from our magazine's editorial team. And don't forget to sign up for our publication's daily e-newsletters. It's all at AviationPros.com.
Hello and welcome to the Aviation Pros podcast. This special episode is being recorded at NBAA-BACE in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Josh Smith, editor of Ground Support Worldwide, and today we're speaking with Keith Clark, Senior Quality Control and Technical Rep at Phillips 66 Aviation, to learn more about his work with the Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type safety campaign. Keith, I want to thank you very much for taking some time out of a busy schedule to talk with us a little bit more about this important topic.
Hey, I appreciate it. You know, we're trying to bring awareness about communication and verification and how important it is for humans to talk to each other.
It's certainly an important topic at an event like NBAA-BACE with the business aviation community being out in force here. How has your experience at this year's event been so far?
It's been great. We've had a lot of good conversations with pilots, FBOs, and people that know pilots. You know, everybody knows a pilot, so having that conversation about the importance of communication and verifying fuel type is important, and it's been really good.
You've previously joined me on the podcast to share more details with our listeners about this Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type campaign. In case any listeners out there didn't catch that episode, can you share a brief background of the program and its key purpose for people in the industry?
Yeah, so we created Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type to try to bring awareness to misfueling, but really it's about communication and verification. So, you know, a couple years ago or a year ago or so, we started a campaign called VFT. If I asked a pilot VFR or IFR, they would know because an instructor taught them. VFT is Verify Fuel Type, a simple acronym that could save a life. And it's been really good talking to pilots and FBOs, and they say, we catch on because they remember that VFT. We actually created keychains, you know, that say Avgas 100, and on the back it says Verify Fuel Type. VFT equals Verify Fuel Type. So we're handing those out at the show. We're going to continue to do it. We did it at AirVenture with t-shirts, trying to get that awareness out there, and it's been really positive.
I believe you've told me that this is about 5 years old now, the Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type program. Has the participation in this campaign grown at the rate you were hoping for when this got started?
Yeah, we started it right before COVID hit us, so it kind of had a slow start, but every year we have more and more FBOs that are putting up the Save a Life stickers. You know, going to preventmisfueling.com or verifyfuel.com. You know, we send out those stickers at no charge to any FBO. They're a simple heart, and it just says the words Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type. We actually have additional stickers now that you can put on your refueler trucks that say Verify Fuel Type. Little hearts by the door. All those things are starting to take notice. At AirVenture and Sun and Fun every year, they're like, hey, I've seen that sticker. I saw that presentation, you know, and we continue to work in the industry. So yeah, it's continuing to go. We got a long ways to go, and if you're a pilot and your FBO doesn't have it, reach out. Tell them to go to preventmisfueling.com. Just Google the words Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type, and you'll see all kinds of webinars that we've done.
Yeah, so speaking of some of that awareness building, we'll get to some of the more creative ones you've done at in-person trade shows and events like that, but I suppose there's more traditional routes as well for spreading awareness, like speaking at conferences or hosting training sessions, online briefings, things like that. Can you, I guess, speak a little bit to how you've been able to spread awareness for this campaign through some of those traditional channels?
Yeah, so I spoke at the University Aviation Conference. Last year I spoke at the Bombardier Safety Stand Down. I work with NATA and we speak at their training seminars, and we continue to do it. And what's really great is even some of the state conferences that I can't make it to, some of the fuel people are bringing it up. They're taking the Save a Life logos with them, the stickers, the coins, and they're spreading the word. So we're gaining traction with a group of more people. And the more people we have, the more people is going to see it.
And not only does it help spread that awareness, but I have to imagine that if there are people with firsthand experience vouching for the importance of a program like this, it adds legitimacy to it. It's not just the speech being given out, it's people really living the philosophy and getting the word out that way.
Yeah, one of our things is, I say join the movement, because I consider this a movement to try to get that awareness. And what's been really interesting is people now have gone to one of my trainings with Save a Life, and they hear about a mistake, a breakdown in communication, and they actually contact us and they tell us, and then we go back to the FBO, whoever it is, and we reach out and we ask what happened. What we're trying to do is connect the dots from the time it was misfueled all the way back to how it happened. It's not just okay to drain the fuel out. We got to understand why it happened, so we can learn from that, and then we share that experience with other people to try to help them learn so they don't make the same mistake.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. Obviously, learning from mistakes is very important in order to avoid making those again. And we know how tragic a misfueling event can be, but given the purpose of the Verify Fuel Type campaign, do you have any maybe positive examples of the program's emphasis on communication preventing a misfueling from happening much earlier in the process and ultimately resulting in a happy ending?
Yeah, so I just had one this morning actually. A guy came by and he told me, he said just a few weeks ago they had a 421 land and somebody pulled up in the jet truck and the other employees saw it and they were like, whoa, stop. They had to save a life. The young man that did it, he just made a mistake. But because of Save a Life, there was people watching, and they saw that jet truck go over to park in front of that 421, and there was people on the radio saying, stop. That's an avgas aircraft. So it was a near miss, but it had a happy ending. Another one I heard about was, they put fuel in it, but they caught it before it took off. Because in the verification process, they said, we made a mistake. And it wasn't very much, but they said, hey, any amount of jet fuel in an avgas, we got to drain it. They cleaned out the tanks, and they prevented a possibility. So I think by talking about it, we've raised the awareness, and more people are keeping an eye out.
And of course, nobody wants to make a mistake, but without a doubt, you'd prefer that mistake to be caught in those stages of the process than, again, after a tragedy.
Oh, yeah. Because if we can catch it while it's still on the ground, we may have money investment to clean out a tank or whatever, but nobody got hurt. And we can learn from it. And the other thing we see is FBOs are coming and talking about it. They're not trying to cover it up. They're like, hey, we got to contact Phillips. We got to contact Save a Life, because Keith will tell the story to other people. And we're not trying to crucify anybody. What we're trying to do is just bring awareness to say, hey, a near miss happened. We're going to learn from it, and we're not going to make it, but we're going to tell our story.
As far as the spreading awareness, if we can kind of back up to that part of the conversation, without a doubt there are going to be people who see you speak, sit in some of your training sessions, and really take away that lesson. But I think one of the really interesting parts of the Save a Life Verify Fuel Type is how creative you've gotten with some of the awareness. You alluded to the keychains and the t-shirts and things like that, but you seem to have managed to pull that awareness out of a classroom setting and make it a little bit more engaging, a little bit more fun, and are you getting the results you're looking for from those campaigns?
Yeah, at AirVenture this year we actually created a t-shirt that had an aircraft, a Piper Aerostar, and it had Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type on the front and the back. And we would talk to pilots. They would walk by and we'd say, hey, are you a pilot? And they say, yeah. We say, we want to talk to you for 23 seconds. And they'd say, okay. And we talk to them and we tell them the story. And we have challenge coins. And what part of the deal with the t-shirt was, I said, hey, I'll give you a t-shirt and I pre-washed them before I went to AirVenture because I knew everybody would be there for 4 or 5 days, so they were ready to wear. I said, it's pre-washed, ready to go, but you have to make a deal with me. You have to wear it at AirVenture. You have to tell the story to somebody. And I'd give them challenge coins. And I had one guy come by and he took 20 coins and he went out with his t-shirt and he came back the next day and he said, man, I talked to 20 people, and he said it was eye-opening. And it was funny. He said some of those pilots were like wanting to point fingers at the FBO, and I looked at him and said, no, it's a communication. If we say top it off or fill it up, that's not a fuel order. We have to say 100 low lead, Jet A with FSII. And it was really cool because we had people that I'd hand them a t-shirt and they would take off their t-shirt right in our tent and put on my t-shirt and walk out. We had people that would go out and the next day they came by and they would stand out in front and say, I got my t-shirt. It was like Superman. I thought about putting a phone booth next year where they can go in with their thing and come out with a save a life and be Superman, and go out and tell the story, because that's what we got to do. We all have to work together.
And one of the concepts you've communicated to me is that there isn't necessarily a conclusion to this event, to this campaign. Save a life, verify fuel type is something that needs to continue. So there's no real end goal necessarily, but what are the next steps for this program moving forward?
Yeah, we're going to continue to come up with new ideas. The keychains, we have AvGas 100 and then verify fuel type. We created VFT, we made it up. But you know what? It's an acronym. And people are coming up to me now and saying, VFT, and those are the type of things we have to do. The end goal is to tell everybody. But we get new pilots every day. We got old pilots, and some of them have set in their ways. It's never happened. And I hear pilots and FBOs, it's not going to happen to me. I said, that's probably the same thing that other person said. So we have to continue to talk, and we continue to help each other, work together in the industry, not only with pilots and FBOs, but instructors and aircraft maintenance people, making sure those placards and those are good shape, and they say AvGas, Jet A with Fizzy. And we have diesel compression engines coming out, and they take jet fuel. AvGas nozzle will fit in there. So you can't depend on that. I talked to pilots at AirVenture this year, and one of them said, I always sump my tanks, and if I put jet fuel in it, it wouldn't be blue anymore. I said, oh no, it'll still be blue. And I showed him, we take pictures of mixing jet fuel and AvGas, it's still blue. So there's a lot of people that think they have some safety thing, but it's not. Truly, and that's what we're going to continue to talk about, and we're going to continue to spread it to every FBO across America and the world. I'm working with EI 1597 on misfueling, and what we're trying to do is bring awareness. With new products coming out with the new unleadeds, there's going to be even more confusion possibly. So we have to get back to communication and verification.
For people looking for more information, they can visit preventmisfueling.com. They can also talk with Keith Clark of Phillips 66 at trade association events and other related conferences. And how else can folks get involved if they want to learn more or help spread the word?
If you go to preventmisfueling.com or verifyfuel.com, you're going to see a heart. If you click on that heart, you're going to see webinars that we've done and training. If you watch the webinar, we have email addresses. If you send me an email, I'll send you stickers for no charge for your FBO. If you're a pilot, get the packet and take it to your FBO. Tell the story. We can send out keychains when we're at shows. Start thinking about how you can make a difference, how you can join the movement and help this industry.
Well, Keith, I know it's a busy show. There are people in and out of the Phillips 66 booth here, so we'll let you get back to your important business, spreading the word about Save a Life, Verify Fuel Type. But we really appreciate you spending some time with us and helping educate our listeners and our audience a little bit more about this program.
Hey, I appreciate everything you're doing, Josh, and working together, we can change the world. Have a great day.
Well, thanks again to Keith Clark, our guest today, Senior Quality Control and Technical Rep at Phillips 66 Aviation. That is going to conclude this edition of the Aviation Pros podcast, being recorded at the NBAA-BACE conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. For more information about fueling safety, please continue to visit AviationPros.com.